Are you ready?
Agility from the champion. Oh, deep six! That could be a delivered this deep six.
Night one of WrestleMania 40 is in the books. I am Wayne, joined by my friend Joe, coming to you from the Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast, bringing you tonight's aftermath of tonight's night one of WrestleMania. I can't believe WrestleMania 40 is here, and we've already gotten to the first night like that. Night two tomorrow night. Everything's going as planned. But before we get to all that, Joe, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. What a show. But, before we get into WrestleMania, night one, let's take a look back at last night and the Hall of Fame, because I have to comment on this.
Go for it.
This man has such an ego that he had to have a custom People's Championship belt presented to him. Wasn't his night. The Rock has such an ego and is taking this to such an extreme level. I don't want to see him on my TV anymore. Get him off. I'm done with him.
Do you think it's intentional?
Yes.
To get heat for everything that's going on storyline right now?
No, I think it's to put the spotlight on himself, because he's upset because the people didn't want him in the main event. They wanted Cody.
This is true. This is absolutely true. We're going to get into that. Hall of Fame, by the way, that just went on long last night. We've been to longer Hall of Fames, but last night was Dragon. Wasn't the strongest class of Hall of Famers, but was I engaged for the most part? Yes, I was engaged. So it wasn't terrible. For me, somebody who has ADHD and can't sit for long, listening to people speak, I think I did okay. So I'd have to say it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't a strong class by any means. But the night was Dragon.
Do you think it was a mistake for them to put Heyman on first?
Yes and no. I think that people left early, right after Heyman. Like half the arena was gone. I guess maybe they just wanted to do good service to the fans, because not everybody wants to see everybody else, but they want to see Heyman. And if people want to go home, to go home. I really don't know. Typically, we know that the headliner's always gone last. I guess just because it was such a late night, maybe they were just being considerate for the people that only want to see Heyman. I really don't know, but a lot of people left right after that. I'd say half the arena. So I don't know if they do that again, or maybe they do the Hall of Fame earlier before SmackDown next year. We'll see, because that almost ended at 1:00 in the morning.
Yeah, it was long.
It was long. But for those of you guys that are watching, give us a like, give us a share, let everybody know that we are live. This is going to be epic. It was a pretty good night. There's a lot to unpack. We're gonna buzz through certain matches, and we'll spend a little bit more time, of course, on the main event, the Intercontinental title match. We had title changes, everything that I had predicted, just about everything. I got the Uso match wrong, so I'll own that. Hopefully I didn't get tomorrow's main event wrong. But tonight's main event was definitely absolutely insane. So we're definitely going to get to that in moments. But oh my gosh, this is one of the coldest manias I've ever been to. This was my 12th mania, and this is by far the coldest. WWE advertising as 52 degrees. No. 52 degrees, but they're not telling you the wind chill part of it.
Well,
it was
they did.
bad windy.
They said it was 52 degrees, but felt like 40 something with the wind.
Okay.
They made sure they said that throughout the show, what the temperature was and what it felt like. Watching it from here, that's what they made it seem. That's what they said. So
it was the coldest Mania out of all 12 Manias I've been to, the coldest one yet. The wind was whipping around, especially in the upper level. Yeah, it was very tough to sit through. I don't, you would know more, being able to listen to the commentators and everything. So you're going to be able to add a lot more detail to the show, possibly than I possibly could, because of two different perspectives. You get in the commentator and all the close up. Me, I don't get anything. I was all the way up in the heavens. But anyway, we're gonna we're gonna buzz through this. It is late. Those of you guys that are watching, thank you so much. Let's start a little hot. Why don't we? Gunther versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. Great match. I absolutely love this, but I feel that the build going into this match seems maybe a little forced. And I get that they were planting the seeds. Sami wanted to get his path to a match for some sort of championship this year's WrestleMania, but I felt like the more organic pick that should have been in this match should have been Chad Gable, because they already telling that story with the kid and everything. So I just felt like this was forced in a way, but I do understand that you had Sami main eventing last year with Kevin Owens with a great moment, and for him to not have a featured match this year also would have been kind of bad. And that's happened with other teams, other tag teams, other champions. I mean, just look at The Miz, WrestleMania 27, and then look where he went the next year after. Big drop off. So with the work that Sami Zayn has done over the past year or two, especially with the Bloodline, I think they really wanted to reward him on this for sure. With plans that I believe that are in place with Gunther being a world champion between now and WrestleMania 41, I think this was the first stepping stone to that. Great match. I was about 60%, 40%, 60% Gunther, 40% that Sami would win. So there was a little surprise shock factor in a way with Sami winning. Before I say much more about this match, Joe, what did you think about this match? How did it come off on TV? How did the fans like it?
The match in general was phenomenal. I give kudos to both gentlemen for pulling off a phenomenal performance. I personally had this pick wrong. I had Gunther all the way, retaining the title. I wanted to see Gunther win, and as much as I love Sami, I think that this should have been Chad Gable in this spot. I think he worked his ass off to get there and deserved that spot. But I guess, somebody higher up didn't feel the same way. But the match itself was phenomenal. The story that these two gentlemen told was excellent. Watching it on screen and hearing the sound of the chops between both men was
we heard that all the way from on top.
I mean, it was great. They told a great story. It really got you emotionally invested, with Sami's story heading into this, was phenomenal. I think the key here, though, was it should have been Chad Gable. And if it wasn't going to be Chad Gable in this spot, Gunther should have retained. That's how I feel. I think, the better opportunity would have been bringing up somebody from NXT tomorrow night, Monday night on Raw, having them come out to face Gunther, and you create a new star, and Gunther moves on to bigger and better things, i.e. the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, you could have probably plugged in like a Braun Breaker for that Monday night spot you were talking about. You probably could have done that. That would have been a little believable, I would think.
I don't know about Breaker because he is signed to SmackDown. As we know, that did happen a couple weeks ago.
Yes, it did. Yeah,
but you could have brought up, a guy like the Tsar Ilya Dragunov, or a Carmelo Hayes. Somebody like that.
I would like to say, though, that during this match, they told an excellent story. Like, I felt it when Sami Zayn and his wife were embracing each other at the end. Like I felt that was a really, really nice touch. During the match, they kept on panning over to his wife that I noticed from the big screen because I was looking up there a lot. So that was happening. And so they were telling that story as well. Gunther and Sami Zayn trading finishes at the end. Sami Zayn, 3 haluva kicks. And prior to that, Sami Zayn was hulking up. But just before that, Sami Zayn had just taken 3 power bombs, a couple frog splashes,
2 power bombs in a row.
Yeah,
from Gunther, and let me tell you, those are not, light power bombs that you get from maybe somebody else. These are power bombs that you're getting from the Ring General. He is a beast. He is a presence that is unlike anybody else that we have in WWE right now.
I agree. All his matches are must see at this point. It doesn't matter what show it is. I love the entrance that Sami Zayn did tonight, walking through the entire hallway into Gorilla. First before that, we saw the wife and kid, and then walking through the hallway, and then Kevin's there waiting for him. I just kind of felt like something potential. Like I felt like Sami had a chance here. I still wasn't 100% sold on Sami winning. Obviously, I said 60-40, 60% chance Gunther wins. But I felt like this was a really, really nice touch, beginning to end. The whole presentation was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was, it made you feel something for Sami, that entrance. Seeing his wife and his son, seeing him interact with Chad Gable before, Gable making sure to let him know, hey, you owe me a favor, right? Seeing the interaction with Kevin Owens, and then him walking out, it made you connect to Sami more than you would connect with somebody like Gunther, because he is this impressive specimen that you kind of almost are intimidated by. Whereas Sami, hey, he kind of looks like me. I could be, he's the guy next door, where he's just a nice guy, and you want to see him win.
Absolutely. The crowd was awake for this match. Prior to this match, there were a couple matches where the crowd was kind of in and out. We already said about the camera cutting, kicking out of the finishers. That was really great. But great match here. All in all, the crowd was into it. There were, like I said, there were a couple matches that they really weren't quite into. Like it was just. It was a rough night for the fans. It was not an easy night for the fans, and probably not an easy night for the wrestlers as well that had to go out and walk out bare-chested in this cold weather that we had. But great match. Everything I expected it. Arguably the best match of the night. After seeing Figgy says, after seeing Sami's entrance with Gable, KO, and his family, I wanted him to win so bad. Classic match. Yeah, I mean, I kind of they did this right. That's all I gotta say. They did it right. Gable should have been in this spot, but I'm looking for Sami Zayn versus Gable, maybe SummerSlam. What do you think, Joe? SummerSlam the latest?
No, I think you'll see it. If you don't see it on Raw Monday night, you're going to see it at Backlash, which is our next pay-per-view.
So do you think that Sami gets a short run here, or do you think he's going to get a couple months out of this?
I don't think he's going to get a short run, but I don't, I see something happening with him and Chad, and somebody interfering, whether it be Gunther or Imperium or somebody, but just to drag that out maybe a little bit longer.
Okay,
but they're gonna tie up, or they're gonna have some interaction. I would assume this Monday night on
Raw. Tim says, I think this match was match of the night, but I feel like it took the crowd energy from the main event. The main event was a kind of a different type of match. It was more focused on storytelling than high impact wrestling, to be honest. So when that happens, people are probably more engaged into the story than the actual wrestling. So people are gonna pop different, and you got to remember it was cold. I wouldn't say it was a long night. It was a good night, but it was very cold. And as soon as that bell rang, me and my buddy, we were out of there in a hurry.
But I think you were telling two different stories.
Two different stories, two types of matches.
You know, watching it and seeing Gunther and Sammy, I was emotionally invested in the story itself. Although I'm not the nicest guy in the world, and I wanted to see Gunther, chop the shit out of Sami Zayn. It's just, what I wanted to see. But then again, the main event, yes, I want Cody to finish his story, right? But I knew going into tonight that Cody and Seth were not going to win because you can't advertise. You can't say, "Oh, if we win this match, there's going to be this stipulation." You can't tease the stipulation and say, "Okay, here's this stipulation for a Bloodlines rules match," but then we're not going to give it to you. 100%. So you kind of knew. As soon as they said that, you knew, okay, The Rock and Roman are going over because The Rock had to feed his own ego and put himself over.
Yep. We're going to get right back to that in a moment. For those of you guys that are watching, just hang tight with us for a few minutes. We're going to get to the main event as quick as possible. We're just going to unpack some of the other matches really quick. We see Triple H. He comes out really quick. Even my buddy says, Triple H was out there very fast tonight. Triple H has done this a bunch of times, especially on NXT. Maybe it's his own ego thing. I don't know. It was cool to see him out. He says, welcome to a new time. Welcome to a new era. It is a new era. We just kicked off a new decade starting tonight.
Well, I don't know if you saw it in the arena or at the stadium, but when the show opened, there was a brand new signature.
I saw that. That was a really cool one.
Signature. It was a brand new signature signifying a new beginning for WWE, right?
Yep.
I don't know if you watched some of the earlier press conferences and kickoffs, but Michael Cole said it, that this is basically, he called it the Triple H era.
You can't say it any better. It's true. It's true. As long as everybody stays out of trouble, this is Triple H's era for a long time to come. I mean, I believe Triple H is going to roll through at least the WrestleMania 40s. And we're going to get some good shows and good WrestleManias for the next few years to come. But yeah, he says, welcome to WrestleMania. And that's it. We've known Triple H for many times, hopping in the ring, doing an intro, and then being done just like that. So I thought maybe we would get like a little surprise where a legend may, show up and they do a little 2-way, 3-way dance in the ring, talking to each other like WrestleMania 30. But we didn't get that. But that's cool. Becky Lynch challenging Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Title match. We had a really good match here. I'm curious to know, Joe, how the presentation, again, as you know, I was there, but it's two different perspectives. So I'm curious to know how the presentation came off on TV. I know the fans were into it. The fans were hot, being the first match of the night.
Came off perfect.
Good. Mommy had the big pop.
She did, and having Motionless in White play her live to the ring, phenomenal. Again, I'm a huge Hard Rock guy, and so seeing Mo there playing live was awesome. I really enjoyed it. It was mentioned throughout the match that Becky was fighting back 102 fever and strep throat, but she still performed, at a level that you would have never even known. Match overall was excellent. This is another match that I personally had gotten the wrong pick. I had picked the man to win. I am a huge Becky Lynch fan. That is no secret if you know me. I am 100% supporter of Becky. I like Rhea Ripley, but I got to be honest, and I think I said this to you when we went to Raw in Brooklyn, right? I am a huge fan of Rhea Ripley, but this title run has not. I've been underwhelmed by this title run. Her character work is great. Her mic skills are
Yes.
awesome.
The pair with Judgment Day. Great.
But I wanted to see her defend the title more. I mean, we had several pay-per-views, or I'm sorry, premium live events, where she didn't defend the title.
This is correct.
Why? Why is she not defending the title at every PLE? Right? That's what I want my champion to do. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate on that, but it's okay. I can handle it. I wanted to see Becky win, but overall the match I thought was probably a perfect match.
Yeah, it was a great match. I was loving out of it. I loving every bit of it. Being Rhea Ripley and Becky were exchanging finishers at the end, which I thought was good. Rhea with a frog splash. We don't see her do that too much, so the fans were popping for that. Becky kicked out of that, and all in all, it was a great first match. I told my buddy of mine that I was with, I was like, they started with one of three matches, either Usos, Rhea, Becky, or the other one I had picked was the tag team ladder match, because WWE has a history of starting out pay-per-views with ladder matches. So I thought that could be a possibility. But anyway, great hot start. And Rhea, she's gotten herself over, and I was a little more. I wanted Becky to win, and of course, some of you guys know, I met Becky Lynch last week. And I'll post the picture up one more time, but she was just a doll. Like, she wanted to meet everybody genuinely. No table in between her and her fans. Like, she really personalized her meet and greet in Connecticut book signing very well. I loved it. Got a handshake, hug, and she was very down to earth. So I wanted her to win. Like, I'm more invested in Becky Lynch now than I ever was. And she's managed to rope me in a couple times over the years, especially when she, with that brawl leading into Survivor Series, she took that bloody nose from Nia Jackson. She still came out tough. And she's little moments that she's had over the years, just amazing. Becky's coming to the point where she will get another championship run, no doubt in my mind. But it's time to start getting some new stars over, because as the next couple of years go by, Becky even says she's got plenty left in the tank, but there come a point in time where she's going to spend time with her daughter.
But this feud is not over. This is going to continue.
Yes.
We've not seen the last of Rhea versus Becky.
So to make a point towards what you said before, Becky wasn't feeling good. Even yesterday at WWE World, she was on a panel, and she was talking, and she said that she hasn't been feeling right all week, under the weather. You could even tell, like, listen to her and her sinuses, that she wasn't right all week, and that she had a match tomorrow night. I'm speaking tonight, and so yeah, she's been battling all week, but she's been going hard, nonstop, for the last 2 weeks, especially with her book signing, the Wrestlemania push. And sometimes when you go hard like that, that opens up the possibility, the door of, catching something. And that's what happened. But for her to put out the performance as she did with Rhea, I knew this was going to be a good match. It definitely delivered for sure. So I was very happy with that. Tag team ladder match. The Judgment Day defends against the Truth and Miz versus DIY versus the New Catch Republic versus A-Town Down Under versus New Day. I liked how Newsday dressed up as Apollo and Rocky. That was pretty cool. I sort of figured there was going to be some kind of nod to one of the Rocky movies being in Philadelphia. But how did you feel about this match? I mean, we kind of knew, or believed rather, for lack of a better word, that Miz and Truth were going to win the belts.
One set of titles. Yeah.
Yep. And
not to take away from anybody else, because everybody performed at an extremely high level in this match. But I am a indie darling. I love my indie wrestlers. So Ciampa, Gargano, DIY. I was pulling for these guys. I was pulling for New Catch Republic because I British Strong Style, I'm a huge supporter of. So Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. those were the teams that I wanted to see walk away here with championships, but wasn't meant to be. But I think everybody performed at a great level. Not too thrilled with Waller and Theory, but I guess we need a heel team to have one set of the titles. But now you have them on SmackDown, and you have a great team in Bate and Dunn to chase them for the titles, and we'll see how that goes. I think it'll be interesting. Speaking of entrance gears, DIY coming out with that DX like entrance and DX like gear was awesome. I thought, just great match all the way around. Some insane spots, which was awesome to see. It was great to hear, McAfee call McDonough a piece of garbage when he came out and interfered in the match. It was, great to see him get his what he deserved in going through a table. But you think about it now, what happens with Judgment Day now, because they lost not just one set of titles, but they lost both.
I think there's a TBD on that, possibly tying into tomorrow. Again, my opinion. But I think Damian Priest cashes in and somehow walks out with the title. I not too sure. I think it's probably gonna. If I had to guess, I think it would happen kind of WrestleMania 31 style, where Damian Priest inserts himself towards the end of the match, and then wins. Let's start fresh. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre have been going back and forth for months, and they kind of cooled that down, in my opinion, as a way to get the fans to kind of forget that happened, that they were going back and forth, costing each other matches in December and January.
But they mention it on TV all the time. So
they mentioned it, but then they talked about it. They costed each other matches back and forth week by week. They kind of haven't really brought it up too much, because I feel like they're going to visit cash in tomorrow. I think Damian Priest should get the belt. Let's see something fresh. But in my opinion, this could very well be a failed cash in as well. Drew has done some phenomenal work, and I definitely think he gets the title there. But again, getting back to your question, I think that could be fixed as early as tomorrow if they decide to put the belt on Drew, and then everything on Damian Priest, that is, and then all is well on Judgment Day. Or that doesn't happen, and we see one big, maybe a possible breakup this upcoming week, whether it be Monday or Friday. What do you think?
We'll see. If it was me booking the show, I'm not having Priest cash in tomorrow.
Okay. When do you think you do it?
I would wait, and I would have him cash in on Monday, if anything.
I mean, I think it's a great idea. Monday is the biggest Raw of the year. I think that could be a good spot to do it in.
Yeah,
for sure. Like if you kind of just want to cool that down a little bit, so to speak.
And he's got two more months, left to before he loses that contract. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, he's running out of time here, and this cash in has to be soon. I mean, you got a couple options left. You have WrestleMania. You also have Monday Night Raw. You can do it there. Maybe the first Friday, which would be this coming Friday. Maybe. Otherwise, you have only, let's just say off the top of my head, no more than 2 PLEs left.
Yeah, you have
to get that
in Paris, and then you have Clash of the Castle in Scotland. What if he cashes in Scotland and takes the title off of McIntyre in Scotland?
There we go, Joe. Now we're cooking something here.
If Drew wins tomorrow, which I think we all can say that he probably will.
I think it's higher probable. I do not have Seth walking out champion tomorrow. I can tell you that much. I don't see it.
Especially after the results of what happened tonight, but which we'll get into in a little bit here. But
yeah, and I think also Becky losing could be a slight indication too, is that as well. They could, probably use a little bit of a break, especially Seth, to just recover that knee a little bit. But let's move on really quick. I'm not going to talk too much about this one. Santos Escobar and Dominic versus Rey and Andrade. This was as a result from last night's SmackDown.
Yeah.
Dragon Lee was knocked out. Dragon Lee was supposed to be the guy in the match against Rey Mysterio against Dominic and Santos Escobar that had been building for the past month or so now. We see Dragon Lee get knocked out. I don't believe it was confirmed who actually did it. Could have been Santos, maybe Carlito, which I was wondering if we were going to get a turn tonight. But anyhow, there could be a jealousy angle that might be brewing with Rey passing up on Carlito twice, introducing two different people, and why not picking him? So they might.
We just did that angle with Santos, where he got jealous of bringing Carlito into the LWO, and so do we do the same angle again with somebody else? I hope not. Let's just see where it plays out. Overall, I thought it was a fun match. I was
a couple cool spots. So you see that crossbody with Andrade and with Rey Mysterio on top of him, and he did a crossbody at the same time. That was great.
Great match. It was good to see Andrade get on the card. I was a little concerned before last night that they brought him back and he's not getting a spot on the card, but to see him wrestle, it was great. I thought everybody put in the work. I thought it was a great match from everybody, even everybody, the LWO and Legado del Fantasma on the outside. I thought everybody, played their part and it was good. I think the right team won.
I got a charge out of the two men with the luchador masks. I was thinking to myself, who are these guys? And then it turns out to be Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey. We knew Jason Kelsey was going to be there. At least Fightful reported it a couple days ago. So I knew about it because of them. But I didn't know in what manner that was going to be. I don't even think anybody knew. So to see the unmasking of those two guys, I thought that was pretty cool. A good moment for the Philadelphia Eagles fans.
Yeah,
it was just there. Otherwise,
it was a fun moment for the fans in attendance there. To have your hometown guys come out and help the good guys win. So overall, not disappointed in it. Thought it was cool, fun match. Happy with it.
Brother versus brother. We had Jimmy versus Jey Uso. This is the first time. It took 40 years to get to it, but this is the first time a face brother, not a heel brother, but one of the face brother went over. Because as we know, Owen won in WrestleMania 10, being the heel. Matt Hardy won WrestleMania 25 against Jeff Hardy being the heel. I honestly thought that Jimmy probably could have used this win a little bit more to kind of feed more into the bloodline storyline, what have you. I feel like Jimmy could have used this just a little bit more. So I thought they were going to go the Jimmy route, but they didn't. Jey Uso gets the win. I'm hearing mixed opinions about this match.
There's only one thing to say about this match.
Sure.
Yeet!
You liked it.
Loved it.
Okay. Again, TV presentation and live presentation, two different things. You have so many different elements adding to it, and actually, in my opinion, you probably get more of the vibe of what's going on TV than in person. But the crowd was loud and quiet. It was kind of like up and down a little bit. I feel
was that
maybe
due to lack of interest, or was that due to I'm quiet because I'm fucking cold?
It's that very well could be it too. That very well could be it. Um, a lot of the fans were struggling. I was just making it tonight with the weather. I was just making it. If I would have had one little less layer on, like if I didn't have this Under Armour on or the thermal, one little less layer, I would have been in big trouble in that weather tonight for sure at WrestleMania. But I feel like I liked the interactions, the back and forth with super kick parties and stuff. That was all fine. Like I can't really be too negative about it. It was a good match. I would have thought maybe we could have gotten a little bit of a faster paced match out of them too. I felt like it was slow paced at times, but as far as storytelling, I thought the match was fine. It didn't over deliver. Um, I don't want to say really under delivered, but I guess it just met my expectations, and I was honestly expecting just a little bit more. But we did get a good match regardless, so I really can't say anything about that as far as negativity wise go. I will say though, I do have a least favorite match of the night, but that doesn't mean it was a bad match. But the Usos was not my least favorite match of the night. We'll get to that in a second. But let me see where we're at here. So yeah, I don't think this is over. I did like the storytelling with Jimmy asking for forgiveness, holding out his hands, and then lowering Jay into a super kick. That was absolutely awesome. But then we see the spear followed by the frog splash from Jay to get the win. So I thought that was pretty good heel move on Jimmy's part. Jay fell for it, but it didn't cost him the match. But I thought in my head, I'm like, oh no, Jimmy's gonna win. Is this gonna happen? So that part had me interested as we started getting into the midway part and towards the end. I think that was the best storytelling of the match. So what did you think of that interaction with Jimmy and Jay at the moment before we move on?
I had the same reaction you did. I thought when that all happened, I thought, okay, God, Jay's gonna fall for this, and he's gonna lose the match on some bullshit call because Jimmy's gonna cheat. But he didn't. He didn't. He overcame it. He won the match. Used the spear. I thought it was great. I was happy. I enjoyed the match. I enjoy the work that Jay is doing right now. I can't wait to see this guy win his first singles title in WWE because I think it's long overdue.
Yeah, I think that happens at some point this year for sure. I mean, once we get through WrestleMania weekend, we're going to start seeing kind of like a new season. It's things are already changing. We already seen title changes. We're going to see more title changes tomorrow. That's for sure. But anyway, moving on, we had Bianca, Jade Cargill, and Naomi versus Damage Control. Jade gets the hot tag and win. I told one of my buddies, Jay, I'm like, this is what's going to happen. Jade is going to get in. She'll be the last one to finally get in the match. She'll get the hot tag. She'll do some moves and win. Sure enough, the match exactly went down like that. Jade looks strong, and at the same time, WWE, or should I say Triple H and Creative, hides Jade Cargill's weaknesses, and Jade gets a win just by throwing in a couple moves. She's not overdoing her time in the ring. I think for what her role was tonight, I think she did a pretty good job. She still has a lot of work to do, I'm sure. She's only been in the WWE system for 6 months, but so you can't run the risk of overexposure, especially on the main stage tonight. She got 3-4 minutes. She looked good. She got the win. That's really the big takeaways that I have from this match. This was the match this was the match I happen to admit I didn't exit my seat because it was a women's match, but this is the match that I happened to have been grabbing myself a couple hot dogs because it was cold. I wanted to eat something warm, but I was watching on my phone while I was online, and I got back into my seat halfway through the match. It was there. We knew Bianca's team was winning. We knew Jade was getting the pin there. You got anything for me with this match?
No, again, it was, what you saw was what you got. Exactly what you said. I think was the way to go for them to book it. There was nothing else you could have done. I was just happy that everybody kind of got their spots, and it was great. Seeing the mist, being backfired, and Kyrie getting hit with the mist was just fun. Overall, decent match. What'd you expect for a 6-woman tag? I think this 6-woman tag kind of fell short compared to the 6-woman tag that we had earlier in the day at Stand and Deliver. I think that was a much better 6-woman tag match. But again, for what it was, good match. No complaints. Nice. I enjoyed seeing Jade get the win.
Couple comments that we have. We're going to address them right now. But those of you guys that are watching, let us hear what you guys thought about WrestleMania tonight and what we might expect tomorrow. Let's hear your comments. Let's see what we got. But here we go. Tim says all the world champions should be defended every month. Totally agree, Joe. So here's the thing, and this was mostly under the Vince McMahon era. They used the 30-day no compete clause when convenient to them. They've never consistently booked, and we've seen this a number of times. They strip somebody for not defending it for X amount of time, and then there'll be another wrestler that doesn't have a match for 3 months, but they're not stripped of the title. So it's just they've been very inconsistent with that over the years. So
they use that rule.
Give me at least one main title defense once a month for each belt. It doesn't matter if it's on the PLE. It could be on a Raw. It could be on a SmackDown. Spread the wealth a little bit. You don't need
but again,
8 title matches on the PLE.
No, and I get it. But again, right? You see, they talk about Roman's title, title run. 1,300 something days. 58 title defenses. Give me a break.
What, 7 last year? 11. Dude, I saw a very alarming number. I think it was like 7 or 11 matches last year alone.
If you have a title reign of over 1,000 days and you haven't defended that title for more than 100 times, something's wrong.
Roman Reigns, we're almost 4 months through this whole year. Full 4 months. And Roman Reigns only defended it twice on TV. 2 matches. Well, excuse me. Tomorrow will be the second time.
Yeah.
And it'll be his 3rd match of the year.
Yeah.
And we're already into month 4. This title's got to change tomorrow night. I'm sorry.
I understand the fact that you want your champion to be an attraction. But so they come out every week, or they have some kind of video package or something, on weekly TV, but they defend the title at the PLE, right? Or once a month they make a title defense. Give me that.
I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that.
But to miss PLEs and stay at home, what kind of title reign is that? From
your lips to God's ears, it was Roman Reigns at one point was off TV for 2 months. It was a 30-day no compete clause there.
That's why I do not acknowledge him as a tribal chief at the head of the table. I am a proud Cody crybaby.
Yep.
I don't care what anybody has to say. Screw Roman Reigns. Screw The Rock. Cody tomorrow is going to fulfill his destiny, and he is going to finish his story and bring that belt home.
I absolutely 100% agree. The setup is perfectly there. We're going to start segueing into that main event, but the setup is perfectly there. Hopefully we see Stone Cold and Cena tomorrow. Again, I'm not sure about Cena. Stone Cold would make a little bit more sense. We'll get to that in just a moment. And you also said, Figgy, I'm so happy R-Truth got his WrestleMania moment. Yeah, this is his first legit WrestleMania moment, although he's been in other featured matches in the past, like WrestleMania, I think I want to say 26. He did something. But he's had moments with John Cena, Survivor Series. I think it was like a pay-per-view in DC one year. I think it was I don't know,
yeah,
Combat or something.
Capital Carnage, or what was it?
Yeah. So R-Truth has had some good runs. This might be my favorite though. This might be my favorite. Like him tonight. We didn't even talk about this spot. Him tonight. It's clearly a ladder match, and he gets on the ring apron and he's waiting for a tag, and his tags him in.
It was great.
It was great. That was phenomenal.
It was fantastic. He got the reaction from the crowd. It was just, he's fun. He makes you laugh. He makes you enjoy what you're watching.
He's doing some phenomenal. Let me tell you something. A lot of these stars are doing some really good work because Triple H, although he has his finger on the pulse at all times, he's also giving a little more creative freedom to all the stars. Michael also, as well as Michael Cole, was commentating is better because they had Vince McMahon chirping in his ear all the time, telling him what to say.
Which is funny because on the kickoff show, Punk made notice of, I don't have anybody telling me what to say or in my ear telling me what to say.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
Right? Yes. Dig it, Vince. Didn't mind it. Again, last night at the Hall of Fame, Heyman had some digs at Vince himself.
Man, did Heyman. If you guys did not watch the Hall of Fame last night, just watch the Heyman speech and you've pretty much seen the best and only good part of the Hall of Fame. But Paul Heyman's speech was amazing. It went long, but I ate every minute of it up, and I was enjoying it.
But Thunderbolt Patterson went long, but
you did.
You know, it was great to see him out there and get the acknowledgement that he deserves. Because again, right, you look at the people that have come up in the last couple of years, or even in the last 20 years, how many people copied Thunderbolt, and took from him and what he did and how he was so charismatic. The guy was a pioneer and he was way ahead of his time.
Absolutely. I mean, they even showed clips of it. New Day even has some nuances from Thunderbolt and Booker T and what have you. So I liked Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt was probably like my second favorite out of everybody in the night. But yeah, Paul Heyman was much. Let's see. So yeah, our truth was great. All right, let's talk the main events. We had Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins versus Rock and Roman Reigns. Obviously, if Rock and Roman wins, which we already know the results already, if you guys watched, gets to make the main event between Cody and Roman Reigns title match, Bloodline Rules. So tomorrow got pretty much what the fans, I think, predicted. A lot of the fans predicted this one rather easily. We have Rock and Roman going over tonight, defeating Cody and Seth. There's a lot to unpack here, Joe. I'm not gonna lie. Where do you want to start here?
This was a match that, it took a toll on Seth Rollins for sure. But the story that these four guys told was awesome. I think it got a little out of hand with the Rock flexing his on the board of directors and telling the ref, I don't know if you could see it from being in the arena, but he tells the ref, if you count, you're fired.
I did not see that. I did not catch that.
Basically, he was taking advantage of of his position and
because the referee I noticed was letting things go.
Yeah, because he was told.
I did not notice that.
Rock told him, "I'll fire you," and all this stuff was a little over the top, I think. But again, I think that you advertise the stipulation that if we win, this is the stipulation for the match. So we all knew going in that, yeah, you tell us that we know we're going to get that stipulation. It's got to happen now, right? Cody took the loss tonight. He took the pinfall, but you're not going to have him take the pinfall 2 nights in a row. Sorry, it's just I don't see it happening, and if it does, I'll be a horse's ass for a day. But unbelievable, the athleticism and the way Cody and Seth can carry two guys who, let's be honest, don't have the cardio that they have. I don't care how big The Rock is or, Roman Reigns, how long he's been champion. Neither one of those two guys can compare to Cody or Seth. These are two guys who are in their prime. They're two of the top pro wrestlers, sports entertainers, whatever you want to call them, in the world. It's just it. We saw, Seth sell the knee injury. How's it going to come into play tomorrow? We saw, Cody, get hit with the weight belt by The Rock. Him and, Roman hitting that Superman punch at the end and then giving The Rock the ability to hit the rock bottom and the people's elbow. Overall, was the match great? Probably not. I think there was a lot of things that, the match was a little slow at times.
The crowd was kind of in and out.
There was a lot
it took a while for the match to really heat up.
Yeah. There was the moment where, you got to have The Rock and Roman who got to catch their breath. So it was a lot of, non-wrestling and just bullshit talking spots. But overall, I think it's going to lead into, a great night of WrestleMania. And I think the Bloodline rules is going to come back to bite Roman and The Rock in the ass when Cody Rhodes finishes the story tomorrow and pins Roman 1, 2, 3 in the center of the ring.
Absolutely. Yeah, so the crowd was definitely into this match for sure. It took about because this match went on for about, I want to say off the top of my head, it felt like 40 minutes.
Yeah,
from entrance to bell. It felt like 40 minutes. I was glued the whole time, so they never lost me. I was very attentive, quiet, and just taking notes, of course, because I need to know what I'm talking about when I'm talking to you guys.
Yeah.
But so I'm taking notes and I'm very intensive. So the crowd was down for a bit and back in and out, and the match really started to pick up halfway through. We saw Roman do the spear, double pedigrees from Cody and Seth. I thought that was a pretty cool spot, which almost led to a near fall. And that was about 20-25 minutes into the match. So I thought that could have been a possible ending. I'm like, oh God, I really had Roman and Rock, predicted to win. That's kind of the result of that I believe was going to happen. And I was kind of hoping for to set up for what we'll talk about for tomorrow. Cool spot with Cody, Rock bottom, The Rock through the table, and then Roman spears Seth through the barricade, literally not even 30 seconds apart from each other. So we saw Seth was basically knocked out for the rest of the match. It was basically a 2-on-1 from this point, which if you guys have been listening to our podcast,
they was able to come back and hit that stomp when the Roman was going to pin when The Rock had there was the stomp when Rock had Cody in or was it Seth in the sharpshooter? Yeah, he had Seth in the sharpshooter and Cody interfered, but then Roman was about to pin Cody, and he had him in the choke, and the guillotine.
Yes.
That's what it was. He had him in the guillotine. Rock's holding the legs down, and Rollins comes from out of nowhere, and Roman again right in the face.
That was a nice spot too, for sure. Not to mention you had Rock hitting Cody with the belt, so they made sure to revisit the belts, and you see Rock looking at Cody's mom, and Cody's mom's yelling at the Rock. I love Cody's mom, and the role that she's playing in all this, and the role she's going to play tomorrow. Then we get the Rock bottom on Cody. Then the Rock drops the elbow, and the Rock gets the win on Cody Rhodes. So that's how the match ends. Now, here we are. Night 2, tomorrow night. This is the match. This is what we predicted for night 1 between Rock, Roman, Cody, and Seth. Is basically just about to the T of how everything went down, and we got it correct. I was probably expecting maybe Drew McIntyre to come out and take Seth out of the match, and then develop a 2-on-1 with Rock and Roman that way against Cody, so Cody could lose with a little bit more shenanigans, but whatever. The result that we wanted and hoped for, which would trigger tomorrow's result, it happened, so it was cool. Tomorrow night, we have Roman Reigns versus Cody, Bloodline Rules match, as basically expected. Me and Joe, we both got Cody winning. So here's the thing. Cody hasn't had a one-up in this feud in the last 2 weeks. Cody and Seth lost tonight. Cody and Seth got the crap beat out of them Monday. I was there, and those belt whips, you were right next to me, Joe. Those belt whips echoed in the entire arena. Unbelievable. And then one of the previous shows, the week before, Cody got his butt handed to him. So Cody has not stood tall yet. And I think tomorrow is the night where he has to stand tall and win, not only because he lost last year's Mania, he's going to win tomorrow night. There's no way that Cody can lose 2 WrestleManias in a row. You know what? He lost last year, and that was that. But him losing last year has actually set up a better moment for tomorrow night. WrestleMania 40th anniversary. When you're completing 40 years, you do something special, and it's got to go out on a high note. So that's why we've been predicting. We're the only podcast that has predicted Cody Rhodes to come back and win WrestleMania 40 a year in advance.
We're not the only ones, because
we're one of Fightful Select. Didn't even talk about it until August.
Well,
a lot of people didn't talk about
one of my favorite podcasts.
I will say that the podcast that I know of, out of the ones that I listen to, so just to be fair, because I don't know all the wrestling podcasts.
We're talking Busted Open. Dave LaGreca called it. He said this is Cody's moment. He's a big Cody crybaby. He's got the pink robe. I'm in total support of Dave. I have my pink robe ready for tomorrow. I am going to wear it proudly as I watch Cody beat the crap out of Roman and win the title.
Not for nothing, but there is a Walmart right near where I'm staying over in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, just not far from Philly. Maybe I should pick up a pink robe myself and head over to it's gonna be a little cold anyway, but
there you go. You gotta get a pink fluffy robe.
Walmart would probably have them too in the ladies section.
It's okay.
Maybe I don't know. I'm not gonna find a pink robe in the guys section. So, but anyway,
the pink fluffy robe, not the sheer lingerie looking robe. Right? We don't want to go that way.
No. So my point being is, we've been talking about Cody winning on this podcast before any other major podcasts like Fightful Select. They're one of the most. That's one I listen to most. But they didn't even start predicting Cody until maybe August or something like that. But we've been talking about this. since literally the first week after WrestleMania 39 happened. And I guess part of that was because I was a little salty and I felt that Cody should have gotten the win there. And the way that I saw it, Cody says, I'm going to be back and you get that title. And then that got disrupted by Brock Lesnar. So they're already planting the seeds from day one, the night after Mania last year for Cody.
But we were there.
That. And people didn't pick up on that until August. Oh, the documentary's out. They're talking about finishing the story. Oh, I guess it's going to be Cody.
That, right? You and I were there in Detroit when, Cody beat Lesnar at SummerSlam and Lesnar raised his hand.
Yep.
Basically passing the torch to him saying, hey, this is going to be the guy next.
And John Cena too, later on, a couple months later.
He's going to be the guy.
Yeah.
He had to go through that. He had to find himself. He had to, face these demons that he had and overcome these challenges in order to be ready to take out Roman and the Bloodline and The Rock and all of this nonsense final boss bullshit. So we're going to see it tomorrow.
Yeah.
We are going to see it. I'm willing to bet anything that Cody, lays the smackdown on the final boss and the head of the table. And hopefully they're gone from my TV. I don't have to see either one of them anymore.
So here's the thing. Roman, Rock, he'll be away until SummerSlam. I don't know if that means that The Rock will be wrestling at SummerSlam, but he's going to be away until SummerSlam season. As far as I know, he's going to go make movies. Roman, if he loses, he's probably taking a break. There's one comment I wanted to address here.
Whether he wins or he doesn't win, he's going to take a break. That's what he does. He takes a break.
True. This is absolutely true. Figgy Smash also said earlier, hopefully we see Stone Cold and Cena tomorrow. All right, so I think Bloodline is going to be out there. Cody's going to be all alone. Let's just say 1 against 4. Bloodline's going to play a different role. Somebody will be, a manager. Somebody be interfering. Somebody be this, whatever. There's going to be 4 or 5 members of Bloodline out there, including Paul Heyman, and just interfering. I think if we get Cena, he would be the one to clear Solo out of there, in my opinion. Then we have to take care of the Rock problem. Rock, is going to be interfering, jumping in, whatever he's going to do tomorrow. That Rock problem, in my opinion, gets solved when that glass hits tomorrow night and Steve Austin comes down that ATV, down that ramp, circle in the ring. Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to take care of The Rock. The Rock is going to sell that stunner like he never has before. It'll be flying all over. Out of here.
If any of that happens, does it sully Cody's title win?
Yeah, so I'm going to get to that. I think this is going to happen around 3/4 of the match. I don't think anybody touches Roman Reigns other than Cody himself. I think this is more towards the other members of the Bloodline. So if you do it right, I think we're fine. Rock is gone. If you want to throw Cena in there, fine. I heard Cena's in town. Cena can get rid of Solo. And Stone Cold Steve Austin, the referee's already knocked out, or who knows, maybe The Rock already knocked him out early in the match. But Stone Cold Steve Austin takes off that Philly 316 shirt to reveal a referee shirt, and Stone Cold Steve Austin will be the referee to finish out this match. Anything goes. That's the rules that Rock makes. Anything goes. So I wouldn't count out anything. You could be as much creative with this main event match and fantasy book, pretty much any way you want to at this point. But I think Stone Cold Steve Austin is the one that comes to the save to help get the Bloodline and Rock out of there. Cena gets rid of Solo, and then one-on-one Roman, Cody, Stone Cold the ref.
Lately, that nothing is done without a purpose in WWE. So 2 weeks ago, we had The Rock beat down Cody Rhodes in front of his bus outside, and then there was that shot of the trailer. Right, there could have been any specific trailer, but there was that trailer, the WWE truck trailer, that was there, and whose pictures are on it? Stone Cold Steve Austin and John Cena. Is it foreshadowing? Is it telling us that, hey, we're going to get these guys who are going to come and help the ultimate babyface in Cody Rhodes? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows?
I noticed that Triple H loves to plant seeds, not only in the foreground of what the main scene that's happening, but Triple H likes to plant seeds in the background, like having people talk to each other in the far background, or maybe
you saw it a couple weeks ago, right?
With Drew and Paul Heyman.
Yeah, Heyman and McIntyre having a conversation, right? What's that about?
Or how about that one time when Finn Balor was all the way on top of the balcony off to the distance, and meanwhile JD McDonough was talking to somebody else, but they somehow, Finn Balor was all the way up in the scene in a balcony, even though that wasn't the main focus. That again, that wasn't done. That had to have been done intentional, and then sure enough, we found out JD was going to Judgment Day. So they plant these little seeds in the background. That Triple H likes to do that.
Yeah.
I love that. Mama Rhodes will take care of The Rock. Okay. Maybe Steve Austin takes The Rock's face and, drags The Rock over to Mama Rhodes, and Mama Rhodes gets a slap in. I would love to see that. Or maybe with the belts. That'd be pretty cool. But yes, we have a really good night tomorrow night. I believe Cody is winning that belt, and I am definitely very excited. We're going to have a new world champion. That's what it's looking like, and I cannot wait to talk about that tomorrow. But we have a good show lined up. Seth versus Drew McIntyre for the world title.
So real fast, let's run through tomorrow night's card and our predictions.
We'll start there. We know Seth versus Drew. We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier on. I think regardless of how that happens, I think Seth definitely loses the title. I think we could definitely both agree on that for sure.
I have Drew McIntyre walking out as world heavyweight champion.
He's the favorite. In my head, he's the favorite, but I'm also keeping an open mind that it also could be Damian cashing in and possibly winning it from there, but definitely cashing in. And if not, we also talked about the possibility of him possibly cashing in the next night on Raw, which is not a bad spot either. Just kind of let that title scene simmer down for 24 hours or so, and then go from there. But Damian Priest is running out of time, so that cash in, we know it's coming. What else we got for tomorrow? Bayley versus Io. Bayley challenging for Io. I don't know. We know it's going to be a good match. We know it's going to be a good match. I think she's walking out
as WWE Women's Champion tomorrow.
I think she's walking out. One woman's title didn't change tonight, so I think the other one will change
tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's happening. This feud, this storyline leading up to tonight wasn't really that much to be desired.
It was Io's title run that wasn't. There was nothing going on with her title run. The whole time she was champion, it was all about creating the tension between Io and Bayley, and they did that in a phenomenal way. I've been a Bayley fan since day one. So I cannot wait for tomorrow to see Bayley get her flowers and walk out as WWE Women's Champion. She absolutely deserves it, and I can't wait for that.
It's absolutely going to happen. She's going to get her moment, and we'll see. We'll see how she comes out tomorrow as far as her presentation goes. Maybe she comes out with the old music. Maybe the her friends pop up all of a sudden. I mean, we'll see. We'll see when we get there. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. I think you and I can both agree. LA Knight needs this win a little bit more. I think AJ's in a part of his career where he needs to be starting to put some stars over. I think LA Knight really needs this right here for sure, especially if you have a long-term plan for maybe like a US title or something.
When we
down
say
the
that,
road.
you say that, again, LA's first WrestleMania. Is he gonna get the win here? But then we look at, AJ's first WrestleMania coming in off that amazing debut at the Rumble. He loses to Chris Jericho. Right? So who knows? My personal pick, let me talk to you. It's LA Knight.
Yeah, that's my personal pick too. And I'm just looking at it through the lens of, no pun intended, but who needs it more? I think LA Knight needs it more than AJ at this point. What else we got tomorrow night? I'm missing like 2 or 3 off the top of my head. We already talked about the main event, nauseum.
Six matches total. 6 matches in total. We have
Okay, so we got the US title.
Triple threat for the United States Championship.
Logan.
I see Logan walking out as champion still, to give to give him some build up until SummerSlam. But we'll see what happens. I think that'll be a great match overall. So I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm. And I'm expecting a separate feud to come out of this between possibly Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Possibly.
I don't know, because I
And
think,
if not, they're gonna get in each other's way at some point.
I think Randy
have
will
to.
move on to have a feud with Cody if Cody wins when Cody wins the title. So that's what I think. But let's talk about our next match. 6-man tag. Street fight, Philly street fight. The Pride, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament of Karrion Kross and the Authors of Pain. I think this is going to be just a great slugfest.
I think it's gonna be fun.
I'm looking forward to it. I am a huge Karrion Kross fan. I think this guy needs a spotlight, a place to shine. A street fight will do that for him. I don't think that Kross and the AOP are going to get the win. I'm going to give the win to Lashley and the Street Profits, but I think the match itself is going to put Kross in a light that makes him look like $1 million.
I mean, I suppose I can go with that. Kross needs to come out of this match looking good somehow. Like, I feel like we're in desperation mode at this point with Kross. This feud has not been hidden for me one bit, and a lot of wrestling fans I talk to share that same opinion. Like, this has to end. This feud, I don't want to see Pride and Testament feuding anymore. They got to separate and not see each other after tomorrow night. But I think tomorrow night's gonna be fun. I think Final Testament could use the win more than the Pride. I might have to go. This is a tough one because they really both need a win here. I'm probably 55% at this point. I mean, with Lashley and Street Profits winning, it's a narrow margin. I can see Bobby Lashley getting the win here, but Karrion Kross and AOP, they kind of need it too. But this feud's just been, no. So this, I wouldn't say it's a filler match, low expectations. I think it's going to be a fun match. So like, I'm not like, let's just say I won't be running to the bathroom or running to get food in this match. I think it's going to be fun. And it's going to be hardcore.
Yeah, I don't think,
match,
and I don't have low expectations for this. I think this is going to be a good match and a hard hitting match between these 6 guys. I think Kross is going to shine in this match. I'm hoping at least that's what's going to happen. But again, I think that Lashley and the Profits are going to pick up the W.
It's going to be a fun match for sure. Give me some tables, give me some chairs, but they will. This is going to be hardcore. So this is a stipulation that these two teams much needed. Had this been a standard six man tag match, I would have been like, whatever, because that's kind of almost what I was like with the woman tag match tonight. It's like, we already knew, we predicted on the tee as how that was going to happen, and I think that was kind of obvious to all the wrestling fans, not just me. But so yeah, that pretty much covers all the matches. Yeah, it's six matches. I thought it was 7 on each, but I was wrong. Six.
Wow.
Looks like it's 6 matches. Seth did not look good at the end of the main event. Hopefully he can put on a good match tomorrow. So I believe some of what we saw is kayfabe too. I mean, he's a little banged up. I can see Seth Rollins being off until maybe after Money in the Bank, and then maybe doing he should be back just in time for SummerSlam. If he does decide to get surgery and an MCL, meniscus is about 12 weeks.
I don't think he needs surgery.
I don't think it's that severe.
Yeah, I think he's playing up to it.
Rehab, and he's playing to it a little bit too as well.
You got to give Drew something to focus on. Drew's going to focus on the leg.
Yep.
Tomorrow.
Storytelling.
Storytelling at its finest.
Yeah.
I think there are going to be moments where McIntyre gets distracted by the presence of CM Punk on commentary. So again, right, that alone may lead to Rollins maybe retaining the title over McIntyre, or Rollins retaining and then Priest cashing in. Right, I could see that happening.
Yeah, that could definitely happen too. And there's a couple things too. It's not official yet if Drew McIntyre has even signed his contract. There's some real life stuff in play here. We don't know if Drew's even signed. I strongly believe he's staying.
Well, Becky was on Busted Open not long ago, and they asked her, and she said, she has 2 months left on her contract, and she hasn't even been approached about her new contract.
It's interesting. I think Becky and Seth are going to end up staying. I think Becky probably just wants to take a little time off too. That's just my opinion. No, that's from what I'm seeing. Be home with the kid, but and also to take care of Seth as well. I think they're both back by SummerSlam. Drew, he can do well in the Indies as he's done already. He's hot here right now. I don't think he goes anywhere. But keep in mind, there's been no announcement of Drew signing a contract.
Yeah.
But maybe there has, and we don't know it. So I guess only time will tell there. So at WWE World yesterday, Becky Lynch did a panel with Jackie Redmond. And Jackie Redmond asks about Becky Lynch's contract status. And Becky was like, "What did you ask me?" What? And then I think that question threw Becky Lynch off. But I think Jackie Redmond got a little thrown off there by Becky's reaction. Then they quickly went to another question. So Jackie, from what I saw, was probably not supposed to ask that question during the panel at WWE World yesterday.
I mean, it's been news. She talked about it on other podcasts, so I don't see it being something that should be off limits.
Yeah.
Why not ask? Let's get to the truth.
You know what it is? I think I this was probably all going up on WWE websites. The interviews that were being done. I could be wrong, but
every outlet was there. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We're not living in the Vince McMahon era anymore. We don't have to keep kayfabe alive. Really, let's be honest. kayfabe's kind of dead. It's been dead for a while. We're more reality based now, and I think it's good to give people a behind the scenes look at what goes on and what it takes to create this and all of that stuff. So again, you ask the question. Well, let's be honest. Let's get an answer. Let's get a response. Let's find out what the deal is. Have you signed? Are you planning on signing? Are you looking to go somewhere else? What's the deal? They asked Triple H about signing talent from other places, and he commented. He gave a direct response. He said it on Pat McAfee show, right? That the only people they're in competition with are themselves, right? And he said it wasn't to piss off anybody else or to lessen anybody else anywhere else. Again, I think it was he's got a point, right? WWE's got to be focused on WWE. Same thing with any other place, right? AEW's got to be focused on AEW. TNA's got to be focused on TNA. New Japan's got to be focused on New Japan, right? Again, if a talent comes up free agency and you sign that person, great. If you pass on that person, great. Do what you think is best for your company, right? I mean, you look at it. Sometimes somebody you take a chance on a signing, and it doesn't do anything for your show, right? Let's look at AEW. You signed Adam Copeland, Will Ospreay, Mercedes Moné. Your ratings still are shit. Sorry. It's truth. Ratings are not where they should be. So Tony Khan is spending all this money on all these talents, and he's saying that in 2024 he's going to be aggressively trying to sign free agents for what? To have to put on a 5-star match in a half-empty arena? Who are you trying to impress? A guy who's out of touch with, giving star ratings to matches that he has a bias on? Why? WWE, right? They're focused on stories and cultivating their talent, right? And putting on a great product. You saw it today. You had a stadium full of people, sold out. Were there 5-star matches there? Sure, you could rate some of those matches as 5 stars. Are we ever going to see that? No, because these pro wrestlers really don't care about that. Your indie darlings, yeah, they do, because they're a little over the top, right? And they want to go hard and I got to do what Uncle Dave likes. Fuck him. That's my honest opinion. And everybody can have their own opinion on it. That's mine. I think he's a out of touch old geezer, and I think he needs to be put out to pasture. Tony Khan is a rich fanboy who only wants to see dream matches, doesn't know how to put stories together. I know people are going to say, oh, what about the Devil story and MJF and Adam Cole? And where did that go? Nowhere. So again, you look at what is out there in the world, and Triple H, I think, has a plan for what he wants, and he knows how to book things out, and I think he's realistic about it. And he wants people to ask questions, what do you think about these talents, or what's this guy's contract status and stuff? Again, you saw it today, NXT Stand and Deliver, right? Julia was there.
Yeah, I heard. Right in the crowd.
They had her on TV with William Regal and Rossi Ogawa, right? They were all there together, right? Even she was shocked by the praise and the admiration that people had for her at the show. It just goes to show you that you have all of these people coming from different places. This is the place you want to be. WWE is the big league.
Yeah.
Right?
And relatively is always has been.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we got for you guys tonight. Unless you guys have a couple last minute comments, we could address them really quick. So we'll stay on for about another minute. But for those of you guys that are watching, thank you so much for hopping on. We plan on being back. Let me tell you, we got back from the stadium quick. We were out of WrestleMania in record time. Like as soon as that bell rang, we were down and working our way out with barely anybody in front of us, and we ran into the people that were, coming from the 100s or whatever. But we got out quick. The moment we got in a car, we were out of the parking lot in 30 seconds. Nobody in front of us. So we got out so fast, and we hopped on here about 11:45 or so. Tomorrow, we're not. When Cody wins, I'm honestly going to stay there for a couple extra minutes just to take in the moment. I expect Cody to be celebrating with his family. Maybe Pharaoh will come out and celebrate too. Maybe Dustin Rhodes. Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe it'd be like a WrestleMania 10 like celebration where all the faces of those that got screwed by Roman Reigns come help Cody Rhodes celebrate tomorrow night. So I'm expecting that. I don't want to miss out on that moment. But we will definitely be on tomorrow night, probably between 12 and 12:15 if I had to guess, because I know we're not going to run out as quick. But the moment we see things are winding down, we're out of there. But we will be there, and hopefully it's not as cold. Again, I'm sitting up high tomorrow night in slightly different section this time, better angle, which I'll be happy about. But tomorrow should be a good day. Definitely cannot wait. Tomorrow night's the moment we've been waiting for about 365 days now. So the payoff, I believe, is coming tomorrow night. I cannot wait. And I look forward to talking to all of you guys about it, Joe. I look forward to talking to you about it tomorrow. I fully expect happiness to be jumping out of this stream tomorrow. Anyway, those of you guys that are watching, thank you so much. And we're going to be back tomorrow. And then me and another debuting co-host, we're going to be on every other Monday night starting this Monday, the perfect Monday to start the Raw after Mania. We know crap is going down on Monday night. So we will be here every other Monday night starting this Monday. So be on the lookout for this. But this is the most important Monday night for sure. I know there's going to be a lot to talk about, so definitely hang with us Monday night as well. Those of you guys that are watching, Joe, thank you so much tonight for hopping on. And Joe, I'll see you tomorrow. And I'll see all you guys tomorrow. Cannot wait. WrestleMania Night 2, Cody Crybabies, such as myself and you, Joe. We're going to be celebrating at W. You guys all have a good night.